Creatures of the night, Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite. We have the AEW logo back on the mat. That's the first thing you're going to notice when the show starts. And also, thank goodness, Tony Schiavone, while he was in the ring, he wasn't on commentary tonight. We had Ian Riccaboni, who is on commentary with Excalibur and Taz, and to be honest, it makes a world of a difference. Now we just gotta get rid of the other two and put someone else over there with Ian on commentary. We started off with a Master P. Yes, you heard that right. Master P, who comes out to the ring, introduces our new trios champions, which are the Ops, minus Hook. So we do have Powerhouse Hobbs, who joined Shibata and Samoa Joe. They come to the ring. They got these new cute glittery blue and black shirts that I would not buy. I don't know if it's the Ops logo or if this was like something for Master P. Honestly, I'm really not sure. But Master P, who is actually a promoter. He has his own promotion called House of Glory. And there was no mention of that. He was actually talking about whatever it is that he's doing for the city of New Orleans and basketball and all that stuff. And honestly, I thought this was going to be something to how to do with Master P's promotion and AEW working together to do some shit. I have no clue. And they didn't even mention that at all. Now, while you're talking about that, here comes the Death Riders that come and interrupt the celebration. It's pro wrestling. That's what happens. You can't have a good moment without somebody interrupting. And they start putting the hurt onto the Ops. Now, when Samoa Joe snatches up Jon Moxley and he has him in a coquina clutch, that's when Master P decides, I'm going to jab Moxley a few times in the stomach. How you going to kick a man while he's down? He's being choked, barely alive, and this is the time that you feel like you're going to start throwing blows at his stomach. Very interesting. To even things up, we do have Swerve, who ended up coming out. The Elite end up coming out for whatever reason. The fucking Death Riders don't even fuck with them. And then Kenny, by God, Omega, Lord have mercy, he came on out there. Sorry to disappoint you, but with a shirt on. And he comes out with a chair to even things up. Now, we do have the Young Bucks and the Death Riders out in the crowd. And then we have all the baby faces in the ring. And there it is. Right there. Your Anarchy in the Arena team, unfortunately. So, they haven't announced this, but I feel like this is obvious at this point. Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, and each member of the Ops. That's 5 right there. And then we have the Death Riders, minus Pac. Is Pac, oh my God. He's injured, Pac. And then we have the Elite. That's literally 10 men right there. And that can make up the Anarchy in the Arena for Double or Nothing, which may be the case that we're going to get at that pay-per-view. They end up announcing a little bit later that we're going to get Samoa Joe to go against Jon Moxley on May 14th on some special edition of Dynamite, whatever. We know he ain't winning. And it's just very interesting to me that nothing came about the HOG thing. And honestly, that kind of felt a little bit disappointing. But Master P was there and he got his point across. I guess the crowd was feeling him being there. But to be honest, something about this whole segment, I just didn't really care for it. Now, we do have backstage the Patriarchy. Everybody's over there. Nick Wayne got the Ring of Honor TV title sitting pretty on his shoulders. And our stepdaddy snatches up that title and put it on his shoulders. I was like, oh my God. We actually talked about this in a live stream the other day. Like, what if Christian would have just say, hey, give me that title, it's mine now. Like how he's been doing in the past. And he takes it. And I'm just like, oh man, Nick Wayne don't deserve that. But he actually gives it back and saying that he's proud of him. And that if it wasn't for him to push him to have that match with Commander, then he wouldn't be holding the title. What are we going to get up next with these guys? I don't know. Christian, he's like 51, 52 years old. He can move like guys half his age in the ring. And I really wish we could see a lot more out of him. Not just with these little promos, but definitely with him in the ring. First match, we have Pastor Brisco versus Ricochet. At first, I thought this was random. Like, why are they going against each other? But then I remember that they recently had that match for 400K for that 8-man tag match. Whichever team wins gets a split $400K. And that's when it dawned on me that Beast Marthos could have won and got his little share of the money, and we could have been in Aruba right now putting a little down payment on our dream home or something. And unfortunately, things just don't go my way in life. Really great matchup. For me, I was just like, Ricochet, he's still fairly new, still, in my opinion, trying to find his place, but you can definitely see that he's definitely getting more comfortable in AEW and in this character that maybe he was always meant to be and just didn't get a chance to be in AEW. Now, with that being said, while I'm rooting for Ricochet, Pastor Brisco have other plans instead of taking the win with a roll-up. I am sick of these motherfucking roll-ups. Roll-ups, I feel like is supposed to be out of desperation, and not just desperation, but I mean like maybe once, I don't know, a month, every 3 weeks, we could probably see one. I don't want to be seeing this every wrestling show that I actually watch. This is absolutely fucking annoying. Ricochet is upset that he loses. And by the way, New Orleans, y'all rude as fuck. Y'all be here chanting at Ricochet about how bald he is, and Pastor Brisco don't have not even a strand of hair on his head. That's neither here or there. Pastor Brisco wins, and Ricochet not happy. He actually grabbed the little safety scissors that he be using to go attack Pastor Brisco, and Kevin Knight comes out there for the save, which is very interesting because I really do feel like we're definitely getting into something with these two in terms of a big matchup, maybe even at a pay-per-view. But knowing Tony Khan, he'll probably do that shit on Collision. Oh my god. All right. So, Tony Schiavone over there once again in the ring. I'm kind of sick of seeing him already. And we have someone coming out. FTR comes out with, guess who? Stoltly Hathaway, who has been gone since what, like November, October, something, I don't know, do the math. And he's been gone for a long time. And from time to time, I'm just like, well, where's Stoltly? One of the last things that we seen with Stoltly was him doing this thing, I think maybe on Rampage or something like that. That's how long it's been, like Rampage, where he's watching tag team matches and it's looking like, okay, he's looking for a tag team to manage, and nothing really came about it. We saw a couple of times where he was in the audience watching tag teams having matches, but he's been gone for like 6 months or so, and we haven't seen him. He came out with FTR. When he comes out, it really feels odd that he's with them. That's for one. Then they get into the ring. They're cutting this heel promo. Stoltly is talking, but I just feel like he doesn't fit them. Visually, I feel like he doesn't fit them. And then when it could be just me. I'm going to give this a chance and see where it goes. But right off the bat, he just doesn't seem like a great fit for them. Then I was just like, okay, he's here to be the talker of the group. Because Cash, Dax especially, suck at promos. So good, they have someone that could fucking do the promos and they can just sit there and just have the good matches. And unfortunately, they still giving promos. They even invite the Rock and Roll Express to come into the ring, and they end up asking them questions. Every time they ask them something, they're being rude, they're interrupting, they won't let them answer, and they end up rolling out this new shirt that says FTR Legend Killers, and then literally go out to kill these legends in the ring. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that part I'm not bothered with, is okay. But I just feel like Stoltly with this group, it gave me nothing tonight. We're going to give it some time. We do have I want to say the Undisputed Kingdom or whatever the hell they call now, Paragon, whatever. They came on now, Adam Cole and friends, to save the Rock and Roll Express. Adam Cole, I'm bored. This whole thing, I would have never put on the show. I'm not feeling it at all. Up next, we have tag team action, the Young Bucks versus Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. The Young Bucks do nothing for me. I don't care how talented they are. Kind of like FTR too. Like, they're super talented, but they do nothing for me. And y'all know I typically side with the heels. And if you're a heel and you can't get me to like you, I really don't like you. So I couldn't hate on this, but this was excellent, okay? The chemistry with Speedball and Kevin Knight, really great. I have no clue they've ever tagged together before, because typically Kevin Knight, prior to coming to AEW, tag team partner is Kushida, and I've seen them tag a million times, so I wasn't sure what this chemistry was going to be like with them, but they were really, really great. The Young Bucks, obviously, their brothers, they've been fighting since toddlers, so they got the chemistry, and it was really great. It went on for a lot longer than I expected, probably like 2 commercial breaks during this match, and it was absolutely great. And as much as I can't stand them, I was just like, this is kind of why we need these idiots here, because they bring something to the tag division in terms of them coming in the ring, having a really great matchup with Kevin and Mike Bailey, and the crowd was absolutely into it, and I think anybody could enjoy these 2 guys in the ring. Obviously, the Young Bucks, they've been gone for a really long time, and they end up taking the win. It took a lot of big risks here in this match, which is okay. And I felt like, all right, we haven't seen them in a long time. We hate their guts, but they're showing why they are somewhat of key players in this company. And I hate to admit it, but they're really, really great in the ring. They end up taking the win with the BTE trigger. And I was okay with it. Kevin Knight getting pinned, I was okay with it. I still do feel like in some ways Mike Bailey is taking L's, but they're protecting him when it comes to these L's. So whenever they're like doing multi-man matches, he's not the one getting pinned. But still really great effort from these 2, Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. Would love to see them work together again. But let's not forget, we did have interference, because it wouldn't be wrestling without it. Ricochet putting his nose into the situation, which actually makes sense since Kevin Knight got his nose in his business. They need to have a really great matchup, saved for a pay-per-view, Ricochet and Kevin Knight. So now we're backstage with Toni Storm, Luther, and Renee Pquette, and she is going to be going to the TCM Film Festival. She's acting like she don't really know what she's there for, but it's apparently some red carpet for The Empire Strikes Back. Did that movie come out like 50 years ago or some shit like that? I have no clue. And she goes on to say, oh, I don't know what I'm going to be doing there, but let's hope that the Empire is big enough to strike this back. I was like, what the fuck? Like, she has a humor that I can fuck with. Like, I absolutely love her humor. Now, while she's talking, we do get interruption by Queen Amanada, who is challenging her for I guess a title shot at some point, whenever that's going to happen. Now, look, her syndicate, they come on out there. Her syndicate, Shelton looks so yummy, and Bobby, and, you know, the rest of them. The story is not grabbing me the way I would like, because it really feels like to me, in a very obvious way, that they don't know what to do with MJF. Now, there could be a really good payoff here with him joining the Hurt Syndicate if that's the case. But at this very given time, it really feels like we're just throwing shit at the wall and see if it's gonna stick. That's what it feels like. So something to me is not clicking 100% about MJF wanting to join the Hurt Syndicate. Statistically, MJF does not work well with groups or teaming up with people. He's going to backstab you. And that's one of the reasons why Bobby is just like, I don't want to work with this bitch. Like, he knows what he's about. He apparently watches AEW like the rest of us and doesn't want that. Shelton doesn't seem to be 100% in, but he's like, you know what? It has nothing to do with the holes you had last week. Nothing to do with that watch I took from you last week. It's only because MVP fucks with you, so I'm okay with it. Thumbs up. MVP, obviously, thumbs up, but Bobby is not convinced. To convince Bobby, some little car, I don't know what it was, some little toy sports car, whatever. Y'all know what it is. He ended up pulling up with, MJF pulled up with, and he basically said, Bobby, you can have the car. If you give me a thumbs up, you can have the car. Bobby goes to go check out the car. Shelton go. They get in the car. They like what they see. And MJF just like, oh, okay, so the thumbs up, right? Bobby puts his hand up, and he has his finger to the side, and he puts a thumb down and drive the fuck on out of New Orleans real quick. And honestly, I was like, MJF, like, you need me to call the cops for Grand Theft Auto. Like, I don't have no problem calling the cops for you, because like they should have never taken the car if they wasn't going to give you a thumbs up. Look, I'm not necessarily having fun with the story. I don't know where it's going. Hopefully it works out, but right now it feels very obvious they just don't know what to do with MJF. Now, backstage, we have Renee Pquette, who is interviewing Hangman Adam Page. He got his curls tightened up or something. I don't know what that was, but it was different. It was different. And they're talking about how he's going to have his match with Kyle Fletcher. Winner of that will go on to the finals to go against William at Double or Nothing. Now, while he's talking, MJF actually interrupts and basically lets him know that you ain't shit, you never gonna be shit. Sure, you got one win over me, but I also have a win over you. And if they were to go against each other for the third time, there's no way that Hangman would actually win. This actually kind of make me feel like we're keeping the door open to another match when it comes with these three. And these two actually. Obviously, I can't do math. And I'm okay with it because it kind of gives us a little something in case the whole Hurt Syndicate thing don't work out. At least we have something to fall back on. It's all right. Tag team action. Brody Kane teaming up with William to go against Josh Alexander and Takeshita. Uncle Don on commentary. Lance Archer out there just getting TV time, just standing out there doing nothing. And really great matchup, but from the jump, you already know. The predictability sometimes kill me. But I was okay thinking that Takeshita and Josh would win. But that also meant that Brody King, who we haven't seen since, I don't even know, would have to be the one to eat the pin. And as great as I thought this match was, like even Brody to tag himself in, he has to chop Ospreay to tag him. So technically that's a tag, but did you have to kill him in order to do the tag? Kinda. Brody King, to me, it's not because I think he's cute, sexy, tattoos, tall, bearded, all that shit, meaty that I actually like. It has nothing to do with that. I think that he's talented. And with there not being this whole House of Black thing, well, actually, I don't know what there is at this point. There's an opportunity to do something big with him as a single star, and honestly, he's still being pushed aside for like William and everyone else, which I don't understand. He ends up being the one to get pinned in this match because we obviously cannot have anyone pin Will Ospreay. Now, after the match, though, we do have some interesting developments. So now we have Kyle Fletcher, who comes on now. And when I say Kyle Fletcher decked out all in pink and the baby oil, everything was just right. Lord have mercy, but he's too young. Everything was right. And he comes on out there. And obviously we're going to beat up William and Brody Kane. But here comes Hangman, who comes on out there, which honestly I was just like, well, where are you in that beginning of the show during that segment? I guess he got other things to do. And he comes on out there before he can even make it to the ring. Trent Barretta and Rocky Romero, why did it look so good tonight? I don't know what it was, like the camera angles or something, the lighting, I don't know what it was. It just looked so yummy, I don't know. They come on out there and they took care of Hangman before he even got in the ring. And at the end of it, we literally had Trent Barretta, Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, Lance Archer for whatever reason, Rocky Romero, all them standing there tall with Uncle Don right there in the middle. And I'm just like, when did we just assemble this mega team at some point? It just felt like a whole family reunion in the middle of the ring. And everybody looked good. And that's not, I don't know. And I was just like, oh shit, we are not playing with y'all. We're not playing with y'all. Uncle Don, at first, I'm going to say it, I like Uncle Don, so I was like, I'm hanging on in there because I like you. I wasn't sure where this whole Don Callis family was going, but they got everybody that they need, okay? We got everybody that we need in that group, and I'm loving it. Main event, Chris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter. This is for the semifinals for the women's Owen Hart Cup, and I'm happy that we're getting a women's match. But I think it was like 15 minutes left of the show that gave the girls to do their thing, which I do appreciate. I don't want to complain. I'm not gonna say any complaints. We got this for the main event. We're taking it. In my opinion, it didn't necessarily matter to me which one of these two were going to win it because I would have been happy with either one of these two girls. However, Jamie going for the win meant something different for me in terms of she was out for a long time. She had to drop her title. I think she had like a shoulder injury or something like that and dropped it to Tony, I think on Dynamite or something like that, before she was gone for like a year or so. And then she came back, and since she's been back, to be honest, I felt like she it was difficult for the company, for whatever reason, to kind of fit her in within the women's roster. Then we have Statlander, who also was gone for a long time, have come back. She's won the TBS title. Didn't have it too long, or as long as I thought she should have had it. And since then, she's had consistently really great matches where she can truly actually be at the very tippy top of the women's division. And I was okay with it. But there was another agenda here where we would have to also have Athena and Mercedes' story continue, where if it was me booking the damn thing, I would have had Chris Statlander win this match against Jamie, then go against CEO at Double or Nothing, have Athena cost CEO the win of that match, so she doesn't get an opportunity to get a 5th title under her belt, the AEW Women's title, which would probably mean the most to her than any other title that she's holding right now, and then continue to have a story with them. That would mean Chris Statlander would finally take a win over CEO, and then she would have gotten on to have an opportunity to go for the world title and possibly winning it at AEW All In. Tony Khan have other plans. Jamie Hayter takes the win, which I'm totally fine with. We can still be able to do something with CEO and Athena to get there, even with Jamie in the finals. But I thought it would have been cool to have Statlander have that moment where she finally got a win over CEO. But like I said, Tony Khan have other plans. Overall, I feel like the show was decent. There are things here that the Death Riders thing still feels repetitive. I feel like nothing new has truly happened, where it just feels like we're going to attack people every week. And it's just like, all right, sometimes it feels like we're seeing the same segments again. And putting Master P in it, was just supposed to make it feel a little different from last week. There's a lot of the same things going on. I love every member in that group, so maybe out of biasness, I'm holding on for them. But I can totally see why people are over it at this point. Don Callis family, they're growing. I hope to see bigger and better things with them. But when we're also looking at some of these singles competitors in the company, it's hard to find where they fit in. MJF, a Brody King, where do these people fit in? Ricochet is another one too. For whatever reason, y'all got all these people back there on the creative team, and it kind of feels like everybody just put one brain cell together to come up with things. While the show isn't bad, it can be a hell of a lot better. All In is like less than 3 months away. This is time to really put your very best out there. Y'all still got like about 6,000 or 7,000 seats left to fill up. And if y'all really want this to be a very successful show, y'all gotta do better with the shows leading up to All In. Go ahead and check out AEW Dynamite. I'll be back tomorrow with Ring of Honor. See you guys then. Bye.